Jimmy Galloway here, all things guitar at volume.com. And I've been having a lot of fun playing today. Wednesday is my in-person lesson day at home. And then I also do some Zoom lessons. And I've been playing this guitar today, and it's a great guitar. So thought I would continue that. I'm gonna turn this thing off real quick, this pop-up screen. And so a little bit of what I was doing was doing some ambient style guitar. So with the ambient guitar, you really want to use reverb and delay, or modulation, all kinds of things like that. And I have a board here on the floor, and what I was using there was I have a couple different pedals that I use for that. And I'll talk about that. So this guitar, you can split these two pickups here, so you can make it sound like a Les Paul style guitar with the humbuckers. And you can split those and make it sound more like a Stratocaster or a Gretsch, really. It's very versatile. So you want to have a lot of availability to do high-end content with treble. This in-ears give me a fit. There we go. And so these are thicker sounds here, and those are really good for a warm pad. So I have a thing called a freak out, and this technology came out in the 80s where they put it in PAs. If you were having feedback happen, like a singer is singing and there's a monitor on the floor, they would have these smart filters, and it would grab that frequency and automatically duck it. Well, the people at Digitech decided to put that in the pedal and flip the circuit. So now you can actually hit a note and it sends it to feedback. So and the harder you hit it, the more it does it, depending on the note. You can hear the feedback trailing down, following the note. That's really hip. So I'm recording right now direct. So I'm plugging into this amp, and then the line goes out of the amp into this speaker, but the speaker's off in the room. And then I'm sending a line out of that speaker into the mixer, and you're hearing it right now. So I'm not moving air. So the speaker is not driving my strings with force, with like a sympathetic vibration. The pedal is doing it. Okay, so that's step one. The next step, I have this new pedal from MXR called Layers, and it basically will grab small sections of your playing, and it also has an automatic mode, which I love because I like reacting to pedals, because then it makes me change my playing. So it sounds like I'm in a huge hall. So there's a little bit of delay within that micro loop. That's a great pedal. Okay, now you're hearing the guitar through a Marshall style circuit, which is this amp. Okay, so now we'll get into delays. So not only like the pad, the long reverb with a little delay in it from the layers, we're actually going to get into slapback. This is the Rainbow Machine. So you probably hear the note wants to jump up. There's a pitch on this that's really cool. And then I can slow the delay down even more. Speed it up with my foot with a roller knob. That's very fast. That sounds like you're in a tile bathroom. Okay, now the Rainbow Machine also has a cool function where it has a magic button. So that's the slowest bounce delay time I can do. Now I'm going to turn the magic on and you're going to hear the note go crazy. And I can roll down the magic with my foot as well. Okay? So we're cooking. I'm introducing you to my spices. And I haven't put them on the meat yet and put it in the oven, right? So these are just, like, well, here's this particular kind of paprika I'm using. This is a Hungarian paprika, those kind of things. So these are ingredients. We haven't put it together yet. So I'm going to show you how it all works together. So, yeah. Dry signal again. Okay, now, here is a really cool delay. It's a Benson delay. And I enjoy this. I do demos for guitar pedals with this company down in Florida called Amelia Island Fine Guitars, and it's an awesome shop. They have the nicest stuff made, and I've got a relationship with those guys. Chris Manis is down there, great dude, great shop, and he ships me pedals, and I do videos for him. Well, I did not want to send this one back, and after a while, I got to thinking about it, and I just ordered one. So this is an incredible delay. I have to have a delay of some nature. So. And there's a little wiggle, right? So you can turn it down a little bit. Okay. This has a really cool, the time knob, I can turn it with my foot. Okay, check this out. Right? It's like aliens. And then you can hold down the tap tempo. You can do things in time. Check it out. All right. You can hold the tap. So you can ramp it up or you can slow it down while it's holding. It's really amazing. You can make all kinds of crazy noises with that. Okay, so I'm not doing any. I'm known for making crazy fuzz sounds with the guitar. I'm not going to do that today. This is all basically ambient texture guitar today. So now you have my spices. Now we're going to put them. We're going to prepare them in the right, ratios for the. We're going to do lemon pepper chicken or something, right? Okay, so I'm going to make a loop. I have a looper in front of all this stuff. So the looper grabs my clean guitar signal and sends the loop out to all these time-based effects. So I'm going to make a super easy loop right here on the fly. There's the loop. Now, I'm going to add the freak out. Now it's analyzing my loop and it's sending certain notes into feedback. Now I'm going to do the rainbow machine. Turning a few knobs. Now here's some magic. Turning the rainbow machine off. Turning the magic off. Now let's throw the layers on. Freakout still going. Now, put that delay with now I'm tapping the tempo and the delay. Really cool. I'm holding it. Now, what if you turn all of it on? I got the Benson super fast now. So you can play something super simple and you can dress it up to where it sounds very powerful. You know, this is what I would suggest. So for me, if people hire me to play on tracks, and you know, I really like the ambient guitar thing, like Daniel Lanois, those kind of things. You know, I've got chops where I can scoot around and do busy things, and that's cool. I like songs. I like songs. So I don't think there's a lot of songs. Well, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not a lot of great songs with that stuff. So I'm into textures and I'm into placement, frequencies, those kind of things. So this is a really great opportunity to, you know, pick the right sound and the right treatments, and it sounds huge, you know. So. I'm going to take these in, ears out. There's a short. I'm going to do this live because I care about hearing things. Wow, so much better. Okay. So, now, people were asking me today about how I think about these ideas and where do I even find the notes to find for those little fills and things. Well, this is going to be like a two-part thing here. I'm going to touch on this and then I'll do another live stream about it another day. But pretty much those fills and little melody things I was playing is based off of this C. I was in C for that. So it's based off the C major scale. Okay? So then you got a major scale, and from that major scale, every chord in the C major scale comes from it. You're stacking a root, the root of the scale, that's a root. Now the next note, that's a root. The 2 note is a D. So now you stack thirds. D to F is a third, and F to A is a third. Okay, so then the 2 chord is D, the E is a minor 3, and then 4 is F, that's a major chord. 5 is a G, that's a major chord. And then A is a minor chord. Now we're going to leave the 7 out for now, because, you know, unless you're doing Beatles tunes with those demented and, you know, diminished and augmented, but demented is, George Harrison called them all kinds of things. So for right now, what I'm doing is I know where the scale is, and I know where all the chords are, and I've mapped those out with a thing called the caged method, C-A-G-E-D. So that basically tells you that you have 5 chord shapes to map out the entire guitar. Okay? And then an A shape is this. And then a G shape is this. And then an E shape is this. And then a D shape is this. So I'm playing a C chord using 5 different shapes. So, okay? All right, check this out. When you learn the guitar down, vertical, and you learn it horizontal, okay? So for me, I know every C note on the entire guitar from here to here, and then it repeats from 0 to 12, and then from 12 on. So this C chord, C, E, G, now I'm going to forget that note. Now the next 3 notes in sequence, E, G, C, G, C, E. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing here for this A shape. C, G, E, G, C, E, C, E, G. Then I'm going to go here, G, E, C, E, G, C, G, C, E, C, E, C. Then, and this D shape actually ties into the C shape, which is 12 frets back where you started. So now I've completely mapped the fretboard. So when I'm doing those fills, I know, let's just say the pentatonic major scale. Instead of the major scale, right, we're doing the 1, 2, 3 scale degree, and then A and G. No, sorry, I said it backwards. G and A. And then it's just 5 notes. So I made a circle, I made a loop with those 5 notes. And in that loop, I could play and connect all 5 of these shapes. With 5 notes, you can connect 5 shapes. It's that simple. It looks very complicated. It is not very complicated. What we're trying to do, getting these streams together and teaching online, you talk about things like latency with your internet connection, okay? Well, this is the same thing. You need to have a brain connection to your fretboard, and then you need to get that under your fingers to improve your latency to where you don't think, as soon as you have the thought, you're able to go there. And then that comes from lots of training, lots of work. But if you think like a singer, you're going to play things that are melodic and interesting. Now, there's people that are technicians and they play things that are very difficult. That's okay. I like difficult too. It has its place. Now, in this season of my life, I want something to be more memorable than technical. And memorable tends to lean into other aspects of the guitar, like the ambient window dressing thing, and really waiting on playing the right notes at the right time with the right sound, like David Gilmour does, like Martin Knopfler does. Tons of people like that. Daniel Lanois is a genius at that stuff. So I think that's a good spot to talk about, mapping the guitar, knowing all the notes, and then knowing different areas to play the notes. So people focus on moving this way. They don't think about moving this way. So then, so I know the guitar that way, and I know it this way. And then just that 5-note scale ties all that together. And then, once you get the 5-note scale, that pentatonic major, then you can worry about phrasing. So check it out. I'll do this. Now I'm gonna play dry. I'm not gonna do any ambient things. I'm gonna do a quick loop, and then we'll wrap it up. Trying to keep my ideas simple. That pentatonic major thing is like Dickie Betts, Allman Brothers. When you don't nail it, do it again. So I know where all these shapes are. That's the hillbilly way to get around the neck. You know, I studied composition in college and was analyzing Bach fugues. I couldn't even read music. And sink or swim, I had 8 music classes my first semester. So I had to learn really fast how to analyze music. And, you know, Bach's a genius, a stone cold genius. And, you know, that was very busy. But honestly, a lot of the parts that started to grab me were from Beethoven. We started getting about the middle of the common practice period. And then we started getting some kind of fancy sounding things like Neapolitan 6 and, you know, Hungarian minor scales, you know, those are hip. So that's a far cry from the pentatonic major here that we're doing. So I do know, you know, expensive chords, you know. Neapolitan 6 is one of my favorites. So that is that is like the Tim Burton, you know, Tim Burton does all the spooky movies like Nightmare on Before Christmas, and then he did the Simpsons theme and Beetlejuice and all those things, right? So you're in the key of D, D minor. And there's harmonic minor from the A. Okay, that's A7 there. Now here is the Neapolitan 6. It's a flat 2 chord in first inversion. I love this one. So that's a cool one. So yeah, it's like a flat 2. So it's E flat, but a G in the bass. So that can sub for a 4 chord, even though it's a flat 2, because it's got the G in the bass. I love that. And then that's an A7 flat 9. You know, you won't be at the pig wine and soiree doing that. You're not going to be doing any Neapolitan 6 at the pig picking, right? But it's fun to know those chords, because you never know when you can play things with those composition. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys this week, and I'm going to give you something to listen to. There's 2 ambient schools. There's the Brian Eno, Daniel Lanois ambient school, and that's more electronically ambient. And then there's the acoustic ambient thing. And so my favorite Daniel Lanois tune, that's record, all his Peter Gabriel stuff's really good, but just overall I really like the Emmylou Harris Wrecking Ball. I really like that one. So that's a good record for ambient things to listen to. And then for acoustic ambient things, which really have to depend on how the person plays and lets the guitar breathe, because they're not using any pedals. It's just 100% dynamic manipulation of an acoustic guitar. That is Michael Hedges. I've talked about Michael Hedges on volume before in the live streams I did with the singer-songwriter things, and that's why I have one of those harp guitars over here. So Michael Hedges, it was a dynamic master. He was a genius player, and I'm a huge fan. Unfortunately, auto accident claimed him in the late 90s. But a lot of people need to know Michael Hedges, and they don't. So that's my job, is to tell you. So yeah, check out some Daniel Lanois, and check out some Michael Hedges, and send me some messages if I did anything that you like. And if you heard anything that was cool, or if you're not sure what I was doing, on up on my socials, I'll probably put a picture of this pedal board. It's kind of ugly. It's stained wood, but it's it's tight. It's kind of tidy. Eric Johnson doesn't have a tidy board. It works for him. So again, thanks guys so much for hanging out tonight, and I will see you next time.